passenger prepays gratuities at the booking screen. 7 days later, the cabin steward has been inconsistent, the dining service has been slow, and there is no financial mechanism left to address either. The tip was collected before the ship left port. The leverage was gone before the vacation started. That is not a personal failure. That is a structural outcome. Prepaid gratuities transfer the performance incentive from the voyage to the booking transaction. Once the cruise line holds that payment, service quality and tip value are no longer connected. That same passenger purchased the unlimited drink package at $70 per day without calculating the daily consumption required to break even. By the end of the sailing, the package cost more than paying per drink would have. Both decisions were made at the booking screen, weeks before boarding. Both produced measurable financial loss. These are 2 of 15 decisions covered in this video. Decisions that cruise lines count on passengers making without the full picture. If this is relevant to an upcoming sailing, subscribe now so none of these get missed. Every item here is actionable before boarding. And stay until Hack 11, it reveals something about how cruise lines monitor passenger behavior that most people on board have no idea is happening. Cruise line revenue systems are optimized at the booking screen, the embarkation queue, and the onboard account, in that order. Each of the 11 items in this video is a predictable, repeatable financial or operational loss point that activates through a specific decision. By the end, every major booking phase, pre-departure, embarkation, cabin selection, onboard spending, and disembarkation will have a clear decision filter attached to it. The patterns in this video apply across major mass-market cruise lines, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Misk, and Princess. They are most pronounced on large and mega-class ships carrying 3,000 or more passengers where volume-based revenue systems are fully deployed. Modern fleet operations include app-integrated onboard accounts, bundled package pricing, and RFID behavioral tracking. These are standard operating systems on most large vessels currently in service, not edge cases on premium ships. The booking variables covered span the full passenger journey, fare tier and gratuity timing, cabin placement relative to noise sources, embarkation day dining, onboard spending thresholds, luggage transfer integrity, disembarkation sequencing, and the data infrastructure running beneath all of it. The first 3 items are pre-boarding execution errors, the most correctable decisions on this list, and the ones most passengers arrive without having made. But the items that follow get progressively harder to undo once the ship leaves port. Why you should never prepay gratuities. Most passengers prepay gratuities at the booking screen without realizing they are handing over the only financial leverage they have over service quality for the entire voyage. Once that payment is collected, it does not matter how the cabin is maintained or how reliably the dining service performs. The tip has already been delivered. The alternative is to opt out at booking and adjust at guest services at the end of the voyage based on service actually received. This keeps the performance incentive intact for the entire sailing. For passengers who want to go further, cash tipping on day 1 is the most direct signal. Handing the cabin steward $10 to $20 at first contact establishes a direct service relationship that automatic pooled gratuities do not. The trade-off to understand, removing auto gratuities entirely redirects payment away from non-visible crew, kitchen staff, laundry workers, housekeeping support who have no direct interaction with individual passengers. The hybrid model addresses this. Maintain the automatic distribution for the full crew pool and use cash separately for direct service personnel. Decide which model applies before booking. Once the ship sails, the prepay decision cannot be reversed. That decision at the booking screen is the first of several that look routine but carry consequences that compound across the full sailing. The next one involves a piece of gear almost every passenger leaves at home and discovers they needed on day 1. The power strip problem. Standard cabins on large cruise ships have 2 AC outlets. Placement varies by ship, behind the television, under the desk, near the mirror. Passengers traveling with phones, tablets, smartwatches, cameras, and hair tools routinely exceed that count before unpacking. Power strips are prohibited fleet-wide across all major lines, including those without surge protection. Security screens bags at embarkation and confiscates prohibited items at that point. Bringing a standard multi-outlet extension means losing it before reaching the cabin. The compliant solution is a USB charging hub with no AC outlets and no built-in surge protection. A 4-port hub covers primary devices simultaneously without violating ship policy. For devices that require an AC connection, a fully charged power bank rated under 100 watt-hours meets both airline and cruise line compliance thresholds. Verify the cruise line's current prohibited items list before packing. Policies are updated periodically. Gear sorted, devices charging. Now the next decision, and this one involves a number that most passengers never calculate before handing over hundreds of dollars at the booking screen. Drink package math. The unlimited drink package is one of the most confidently purchased add-ons on any cruise booking. It is also one of the most reliably miscalculated. Here is the number cruise lines do not put on the sales page. Packages are priced between $60 and $100 per person per day. Most lines require both adults in a cabin to purchase if one does, doubling the daily cost regardless of one guest's consumption level. At $70 per day, the break-even point is approximately 7 premium cocktails per person per day for every day of the sailing. The fine print that is not highlighted at purchase, an 18% service charge applies to each drink even under the package. Many premium and top-shelf spirits are excluded from standard tiers, and some lines cap order frequency within a defined time window. Bottled water, specialty coffee, and fresh squeezed juices often require a higher tier package. Most lines offer a 10 to 15% discount on packages purchased before sailing through the booking portal. For passengers consuming 3 drinks or fewer daily, pay-as-you-go consistently costs less than the package. For passengers who want primarily non-alcoholic options, a standalone non-alcoholic package is typically available at a significantly lower price point. Decision rule: calculate actual projected daily consumption before purchasing. The package is structured for the passenger who will spend a full day at the bar. For anyone else, the math does not support the purchase. And when ordering at the bar, regardless of package status, always ask what spirit is in the daily special before ordering. These promotions are built around the lowest cost inventory on the ship, priced to create the impression of value while costing the cruise line approximately $1.50 per drink. The drink package decision happens before boarding. The next decision happens before booking, and most passengers don't realize it determines sleep quality for the entire voyage. Cabin placement and the noise map. 2 passengers book the same interior cabin category at the same price. One sleeps through the night. The other is awake at 5 in the morning listening to the fitness center directly overhead. The difference is not luck, it is deck plan position, and it is entirely preventable. Interior cabins are priced at the lowest tier, but within that category the range of actual livability is wide. The price reflects the category, not the position. Cabins directly above nightclubs receive bass frequencies and foot traffic through the night. Cabins below fitness centers are exposed to equipment vibration and dropped weights from 5 in the morning. Cabins adjacent to crew service corridors receive supply cart movement during overnight hours. None of this appears in the cabin description. The same noise logic applies to any cabin category. Pools begin chair movement before dawn. Theaters transmit sound upward during late shows. Casinos operate 24 hours. Elevator banks produce continuous door chimes and mechanical sounds. Aft cabins carry engine vibration at lower decks, a structural feature of that position, not a variable that changes by sailing. Before confirming any cabin, pull the full deck plan and identify what occupies the space directly above, below, and on both sides. This step takes under 10 minutes and eliminates the primary noise risk entirely. Best position: midship, sandwiched between passenger sleeping decks, away from elevator banks and the external walls of entertainment venues. Interior cabins in non-standard positions, corner placements, irregular outlines from shipyard design revisions sometimes carry 10 to 20% more square footage at no price premium. On the deck plan, irregular cabin outlines are the candidates to check. Call the cruise line's booking desk and ask which decks on that specific ship are rated quietest. Agents will not volunteer this information, but they will answer the direct question. Cabin locked in. Now the first morning on the ship, and there is a decision waiting at embarkation that catches almost every first-time cruiser off guard. Embarkation Day, dining the moment passengers board on embarkation day. The majority head directly to the buffet. That single default decision starts the vacation with the worst meal the ship will serve all week, and most passengers never find out there was a better option available the entire time. The buffet on embarkation day is opened hours before full passenger load arrives. Food is prepped and held under heat lamps well before boarding begins. Peak passenger arrival, noon to 2 in the afternoon, coincides with the lowest freshness point in the buffet cycle and maximum seating competition. Most passengers go there by default because it is the most visible option on arrival. The main dining room on most large ships offers lunch service on embarkation day. It operates at significantly lower volume, uses made-to-order preparation, and provides table service. Most passengers do not know it is open because it is not prominently communicated at embarkation. Verify whether it operates on embarkation day for the specific ship before sailing. After boarding, drop carry-on bags in the cabin first, then locate the main dining room or a secondary dining station, the poolside grill or pizza station before committing to any venue. Some ships offer discounted specialty restaurant lunch specials on day 1. Check the cruise app after boarding to confirm. On subsequent days, meal timing follows the same logic. Breakfast between 7 and 8 captures the window between early risers and late sleepers. Dinner at opening, typically 5:30, provides the best tables and freshest kitchen output. After 8, volume drops again as fixed seating families have cleared. The high-density window to avoid is 6:30 to 7:30 in both the buffet and main dining room. Timing covers the main venues, but there is an entirely separate layer of dining on most large ships that the cruise line never puts in the daily schedule, and it is completely free. Free dining that goes unadvertised. Most passengers default to the buffet or main dining room because those are the only venues referenced in embarkation day materials. Several no-cost alternatives exist on most large ships and are not promoted at boarding. Made-to-order stations within the buffet, eggs, pasta, omelets that operate on a separate production cycle from the pre-plated lines. Poolside grills and pizza stations running outside peak hours. And a late-night deli or pizza counter on most ships after main restaurant closure. On most major lines, continental breakfast delivered to the cabin, coffee, pastries, juice is included at no surcharge. Some lines have introduced delivery fees. Confirm the current policy for the specific cruise line before sailing. Best sourcing method. On embarkation day, walk the ship's full public deck layout and identify every food service point before committing to any venue. Ask crew members where they eat. Staff move toward recently restocked stations at off-peak hours. That movement is a real-time indicator of food quality across the ship. Dining handled. But there is something else to address in that cabin on embarkation day, something most passengers never think about, and that takes under $3.02 to fix permanently. Cabin security. Peephole and door access. The peephole on a cruise cabin door looks like a one-way lens. Under specific lighting conditions, when the hallway is brighter than the cabin interior, it is not. This is a documented security flaw, not a theoretical one, and it is present on the door of every standard cruise cabin on every major line. Standard cruise cabin door peepholes can be reverse viewed using a readily available optical device. On a large ship where hallway traffic includes passengers, maintenance staff, and service personnel across all hours, the exposure is continuous. The fix costs under $3, an adhesive bandage, an opaque sticky note, or a sliding peephole cover applied on embarkation day. A portable door wedge lock provides a secondary layer by preventing entry regardless of keycard access. Confirm the cruise line's policy on portable door security devices before packing. What this does not change. Crew Entry Authority operates under a separate framework. Ship security can and will enter any cabin for safety inspections, smoke detection response, wellness checks, and noise complaints, none of which require passenger consent or are limited by the Do Not Disturb sign. Balcony access follows the same rule. Maintenance crew may access private balconies during port days for safety equipment inspection. Do not store prohibited items in the cabin with the expectation that the Do Not Disturb sign provides protection. It does not. One additional risk that is not communicated at booking. Opening both the cabin door and the balcony sliding door simultaneously creates a pressure differential that can slam the cabin door with sufficient force to cause injury. Never leave both open at the same time. Cabin secured. Now, before the bags are fully unpacked, there is one more pre-boarding failure that strands luggage on the other side of the ship on day one more than any other single mistake. Luggage tag failure. Paper luggage tags printed at home pass through conveyor systems, baggage carts, and manual transfer before reaching the cabin. When a tag is destroyed or separated during that process, the bag is routed to a holding area. The passenger does not receive it at the cabin, and guest services cannot resolve the situation until the bag is physically located, a process that takes hours and can extend into the following day. The prevention is straightforward. Rigid, clear plastic luggage tag holders protect the tag through the entire transfer. The alternative is to laminate the paper tag with clear packing tape on both sides before leaving home. Backup measure. Place a card inside the bag with passenger name, ship name, sailing date, and cabin number. If the external tag is completely destroyed, the crew can still match the bag to the cabin without it. This step takes 30 seconds and eliminates the worst-case outcome. Bags arrive. Now the cruise is underway, and the ship's revenue systems shift into full operation. The next two hacks cover spending traps that activate the moment a passenger interacts with the onboard economy, starting with one that is staged at every main entrance, every gangway, and every formal dinner. Photo pricing and the self-documentation. Alternative cruise line photographers operate at gangways, formal dinner entrances, pool decks, and private island disembarkation points. Photos are captured without a purchase commitment. The business model relies on emotional attachment at the gallery. The passenger sees a moment they want to preserve and pays the price without comparison. Standard pricing runs $20 to $30 per printed photo and $10 to $20 for a digital file. Photographers are operating at volume across hundreds of passengers per shift. Composition quality is variable. The shooting positions used by cruise line photographers are not exclusive. Grand staircases, sunset backdrops, and formal night setups are accessible to any passenger. A current generation smartphone with portrait mode replicates the background blur at no cost. A fellow passenger or crew member will take the photo on request. If purchasing ship photos, check whether the cruise line offers a digital photo package at a pre-purchase discount before sailing. On some lines, a bundle becomes cost-effective above 3 or 4 images. Evaluate the bundle against individual image cost before committing at the gallery. Photos documented at 0 cost. Now the final morning of the cruise, and there is a disembarkation decision that determines whether the vacation ends under control or in a corridor queue with 500 other passengers. Disembark last on the final morning. The majority of passengers join the first disembarkation call group. The result is elevator gridlock, a customs queue that stretches back through the terminal, and a baggage claim area where hundreds of identical black suitcases have been unloaded onto the same stretch of pier. Most of that is entirely avoidable. Standard disembarkation moves passengers off the ship in sequential call groups optimized for rapid cabin turnover, not passenger convenience. The first call groups face maximum elevator competition, maximum customs queue volume, and maximum baggage claim density on the pier. Passengers without a time-sensitive onward connection have no operational reason to join the first wave. Delaying departure produces measurable improvements across every part of the disembarkation experience: clear elevator access, lower customs volume, identifiable bags on the pier, and continued use of the ship's buffet and lounge areas at near zero occupancy. Constraint: verify the latest permitted departure time with the cruise line before the sailing ends. This window is typically 90 minutes to 2 hours after the ship is cleared for disembarkation, but varies by port and itinerary. Do not assume the window without confirming it for the specific sailing. Disembarkation covered. Now the final item. And this one sits underneath everything else on this list. It is the infrastructure the cruise line uses to track passenger location and behavior across the entire ship. In real time, from the moment of boarding to the moment of departure. Most passengers have no idea it is running. RFID tracking and how to use it. Modern large-class cruise ships embed RFID chips in passenger keycards and, on some lines, wearable wristbands. The system logs cabin entry and exit, onboard purchase locations and timestamps, public space dwell time, and app interaction patterns. Every drink order, retail browse, and spa visit generates a data point with a location and timestamp. The stated purpose is safety monitoring and emergency passenger location. Both are real applications. The same dataset is also used to generate targeted promotional offers in real time. Passengers who spend measurable time near spa facilities receive discount vouchers delivered to the cabin television. Bar visit frequency triggers drink package upgrade messaging. Shore excursion browsing generates cabin-delivered tour offers. There is a passenger-side application of the same system. Family members can track each other through the ship's app without cell coverage. The activity log also functions as a billing dispute tool. If a charge appears for a location the passenger did not visit, the RFID log confirms physical location at the time of the disputed charge and supports the dispute at guest services. Ask at guest services on the first day whether the personal activity log is accessible for billing review. What cannot be changed? There is no opt-out mechanism for RFID tracking on ships that have integrated it into the safety system. The key card is required for cabin access and onboard purchasing. Tracking is a structural feature of sailing on a modern large-class ship. But understanding how it works changes how to use it, and that distinction matters more than most passengers realize once the onboard charges start appearing. 11 separate items: gratuity timing, outlet restrictions, drink package thresholds, cabin noise exposure, buffet cycles, unadvertised dining, door security, luggage handling, photo pricing, disembarkation sequencing, and behavioral tracking. They look unrelated. They are not. All 11 connect to a single operational principle. The cruise fare is priced as a market entry point. Onboard revenue per passenger is the actual profit engine. On promotional sailings across major mass market lines, the average onboard revenue per passenger per day exceeds the base daily fare. The ship is not the product being sold. Access to the ship is. Gratuity prepayment, drink packages, and photo packages are all captured at the booking screen before the passenger has any experiential context for what they are purchasing. Conversion rates are highest at that stage because the passenger cannot yet calculate actual usage against cost. The booking screen is the highest yield revenue moment in the passenger relationship. The embarkation day buffet default, the daily drink special embedded in the drink package structure, and the photo capture system are coordinated touchpoints in a per-passenger spend maximization sequence. Each is designed to feel like a spontaneous passenger choice while functioning as a structured revenue activation. The RFID system closes the loop. Behavioral data from the current sailing feeds the targeting engine for real-time upsell and for the next booking cycle. Passengers misread these systems because each element appears as a standalone offer. The daily special appears to be a value. The photo appears to be a convenience. The gratuity prepayment appears to be a courtesy. The connection between pre-purchase conversion pressure and onboard experience design is not visible from inside any single decision. Seeing the structure as a whole is what changes the outcome, and that is exactly what the final section delivers. Pre-booking gratuities. Decide before booking, prepay, decline, or hybrid. Verify whether mid-voyage adjustment is available on the specific line. If it is not, the decision made at booking is final. Drink package. Calculate the daily break even before purchasing. At $70 per day, that is 7 premium cocktails per person, per day. If projected consumption is below that threshold, pay-as-you-go produces a lower spend. If only one adult in the cabin drinks, factor in the mandatory dual purchase requirement before confirming. Cabin selection. Pull the full deck plan. Identify what is directly above, below, and on both sides before booking. Target midship positions sandwiched between passenger sleeping decks. Call the line and ask which decks are rated quietest on that specific ship. Luggage tags. Use rigid plastic tag holders or laminate with clear packing tape. Place a backup identification card inside the bag before leaving home. Embarkation day dining. Do not default to the buffet. Verify whether the main dining room offers embarkation day lunch service. Drop bags in the cabin first, then locate a secondary dining option. Cabin setup. Cover the peephole immediately. Apply a portable door lock if the cruise line policy permits. Do not leave the cabin door and balcony door open simultaneously. Spending devices. Pack a compliant USB hub, no AC outlets, no surge protection. Carry a power bank under 100 watt-hours for AC-dependent devices. Onboard bar. Ask what spirit is in the daily special before ordering. If it is a well or house spirit, order a standard cocktail with known ingredients instead. Dining timing. Breakfast 7, 8 a.m. dinner at opening or after 8 p.m. Avoid the 6:30, 7:30 window in both the buffet and main dining room. Photos. Photograph the same positions the ship's photographers use before or after the formal interaction. The backdrops are not exclusive. Billing. If an unrecognized charge appears, request the personal RFID activity log at guest services. The log confirms physical location at the time of any disputed transaction. Disembarkation timing. If no early flight or time-sensitive transfer, do not join the first call group. Confirm the latest permitted departure window with the cruise line before the sailing ends. Remain on the ship until crowds clear. The cruise industry operates through predictable, well-engineered revenue structures. Every item in this video activates through a specific booking or behavioral decision. None are accidents. None are unavoidable. They are structural features of a system that rewards the informed passenger and extracts from the uninformed one. Book accordingly.